Well, good evening, Star Wars fans. Coming to you live with another episode of Holotheatre. As always, I am Dan Tartaglione, also known as D Tartag1. My guest host tonight is actually the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Mr. Advocate himself, Scotland Grail. And joining
Howdy.
us tonight is fellow Volunteer of the Year winner and one of the esteemed members of our tournament committee, Mr. Bill Kafer. How you doing today, Bill?
Doing well, Dan. How about yourself?
It is a Wednesday, my dude, so I cannot complain. So,
I'm really excited you're on, Bill.
as
So
am
thank you.
I. So we got a lot to
I
cover
appreciate
tonight.
you having
We do have a lot to cover tonight, as always. We have OCS, again, PC, Jawas in Love. We have a new deck building challenge, as we had a winner last month. And but let's get right on into it. So, Bill, the tournament committee just recently sent out a great big post regarding everything for 2021. I'm going to start off by saying I love the transparency from you guys. That's one thing I like is when there is communication between the PC and the players regarding anything. So the fact that you guys did this, thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely one of the things we saw in the responses from the player survey that was done last fall.
Mm-hmm.
Is people wanted to know, can we know when the dates are in advance so maybe we can take off work and be able to attend something that they might not be able to if we announce it a month early or 2 months early. So now we're trying to announce things as early as we can. Ideally, I think what we want to do is have next year's schedule all set by this year's Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I feel like that's a little bit of a lofty goal given our reactive nature, but that's certainly something that we're going to try to work on.
So just so everybody who is aware, who is not aware of this, if you go onto the PC site and if you actually go up to tournament resources, or it should be right on the homepage, it will. What we're talking about is the 2021 organized play schedule. And this is only 3 days old. So again, thanks to the tournament committee. Uh, you guys explain a lot of stuff, and I like this.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to explain, right? So if you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about an entire year's worth of events that we're trying to get into the calendar right now, that's kind of rough, especially in this environment when we might not know what July looks like or what September looks
Mm-hmm.
like or what October looks like. So trying to project that out, a little difficult and definitely a work in progress, subject to change. All those
Yeah.
disclaimers that need to be put in there, but what we want to do is this is the framework we want to see.
I will say one of the things that Bill was working with me on is the match play, right? So in April, we had the match play. We've obviously pushed that back, and we've been working with the hotel. And my hope is that in the next couple of days, we can actually get the match play for 2022 finalized, and that'll be
Yeah.
nice to have.
Yeah, just getting stuff like that locked down. Maybe not always a year in advance. Like I know that
Mm-hmm.
announcement. We're still working on stuff for nationals in July, but we do have a hotel booked for Worlds. It's the same hotel it would have been at last year
Okay.
that we've been able to do it in person. So back in DC, but just getting that, like I said, getting that announced gives people time to say, okay, you got to tell your wife, your significant other, your
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I'm going to be busy in October.
Well, you know what? I will say this: if you're single like me, you just gotta. All you gotta do is just find somebody to watch your pets. That's the
Well,
easiest thing.
then for you, then all the opportunities that you have throughout the year to earn something like Player of the Year points, or when you can join a league, or if you want to play any kind of alternate format event, they're all right there for you.
Mm-hmm. And I like how the first thing you guys talk about in the post is essentially you talk about the player of the year and everything. How and we're also next year you're going to see like most improved player, breakout player. So I like those, but right off the bat, you go into Gemp and what some of the events that we're going to have on Gemp over the year. So everybody knows we have the OCS, how it all changed and everything. If you're looking for any information, you can just click this link right here. we say when online play is going to be. Like, hey, it looks like it's what is that a week or is that 2 weekends or?
It's 2 weekends. I think it's about 10 days total. I don't have the calendar in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty similar to what it was last year when it was over 2 weekends.
Okay.
Yeah, April 2nd to the 11th. So it's what's
Yeah,
that,
the
10
11th is a
days?
Sunday, so it looks like it runs a Friday to a Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. So we give people 2 weekends to play in.
And then we got Outrider Cup is coming back this year. Now, do we know if that's going to be an every year thing, every 2 years, like the Ryder Cup, or is it going to be like,
I
something?
think Chris Gogolin, who runs the Outrider Cup, who came up with the idea, has said it's going to be every 2 years.
Okay.
I think what we're going to try to do is on those off years where there is no Outrider Cup, we're going to try to run an event that got teased a little bit in the league's announcement, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. But we're thinking about doing maybe like a Tournament of Champions or a Champions League type event. If you're familiar with the Premier League, just something, or the soccer leagues over in Europe. Just something like a Champions League event where anybody who wins a league gets entered, or anybody who wins a major gets entered.
Okay.
So that's something we're still working on, but that'll come 2022. So plenty of time to work on that.
Interesting.
It reminds me the Invitational Decipher did at DecipherCon.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were under a certain level, you got to play in that. So that was a fun event, knowing that there were fellow high level players in it. I don't know how I made it, but I got in somehow.
And I will say, you also talk about really briefly some talk about local play. I'm sorry, this, and it's talking about the leagues as well. You do mention like what the league kits will be available. We'll actually talk about those in a few.
Yeah.
And I like it. And then
And
again,
just to clarify, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, you talk about like local tournament weekends, and I'm assuming this is all going to happen if we have better COVID stuff in place, I guess.
Yeah. So when we say local, I mean especially with the leagues, we're anticipating that a lot of the events for the leagues will be run online.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say do not run them in person, but what we want to do is provide a safe environment for people to get back to playing cards. Yeah. So maybe when we get towards the end of the leagues, I know in there we talked about regionals. We want to see what the climate looks like at that time before we commit to anything. I'm fairly confident that local tournament weekend in November will be able to be played live. Just as I'm confident that Worlds will be able to be played live.
I'm hoping.
But the rest of it remains to be seen.
And with online, though, even adding the cube and adding formats and things like that, we've had a lot of fun playing league events in our league. And so I think it would be nice to finish up the league for the year in person. So we'll see where it goes.
I agree.
Right.
And then I guess what everybody is.
That's one of the beautiful things about GEMP, right? Is if you want to run a league, it doesn't have to be open. There's no any kind of. We had discussed maybe you have to run at least 1 or 2 events in the open format, but we decided against it ultimately because we just want people to play more cards. So if you want to run your league events all Premier Death Star 2 or all Cube or any combination of the above, you can do that.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the leagues and everything, again, we briefly touched upon this. Jared Napolitano recently posted that we have guidelines in place now for the leagues. And if you're interested in getting one of those involved, I will say players can only participate in one league.
Yeah.
How does that work?
So we are going to be the league administrators, Jared and I.
Okay.
That's something that we wanted to do just to kind of keep it more similar to how you might run a league at your local gaming store. It's going to be the same type event like that, and so that way we can do cool things like we can do the Tournament of Champions or the Champions League or whatever we're going to call that. We can do cool things like you can run one of your league events as states, because that's one of the things that we didn't get to do last year.
Yeah.
And so because we are the administrators, we will be able to keep track of that. We will be able to add people to those leagues.
Okay.
Um,
So
and if you don't, I think it's buried somewhere in the post, if you don't have a general play group in your area, we're going to try to run at least one or two. We'll come up with a cool name, but like leftovers leagues, or I think Jared called them outer rim leagues, where we will find a way to get people into those leagues if you want to play in a league.
So
Yeah, I know with Kyle being in Australia, or if
yeah,
some other players, I forget who's in New Zealand, but we
MHT.
have people, Matt HT, and people in different countries. If they're out in the outer rim per se, it'll be nice to give them a shot to play something different.
So
Yeah.
here's a question. Like, for instance, I'm in both the SoCal League and the North Cal League right now for this year. I can only play in one of those.
That's what we're going with for now. I would say it's probably not a hard guideline, and something like that we can certainly revisit. But that was our goal, is to just make it more like that local league.
Okay, interesting. And we did talk
Popular
about.
man, ruining our plans.
I have to. That's my lot in life. But we also talk about, on top of that, you do have an FAQ section and everything. I like that. If you have any more questions, we have an email, and again, this is all on the forums. We have the kits. So, and I like the kits for this year. I'm excited. You have some good prizes for 6 events, and
You're going to want to play in that 6th event to get that Lord Sidious foil. He's a good one.
he's okay. I mean, the card. I will say this: the card has actually won me a few games in the past, so he's not a terrible card. But I do like we have a T-shirt. We have each event. So these are for instance, you have the 7th Sister. So everybody who participates in the first event will get a 7th Sister foil. Each of the winners for each of the event will get Maul. And Perfect Attendance will get Rose. So yeah, I mean, I like how we have different foils for each of the events. And I think this is the most interesting thing, is that we're gonna start doing digital prizes. So I'm excited to see what those can be. I mean, you do point out that there's going to be gold, foil cards, packs, boxes, etc. So I'm excited to see how we can expand on that in GEMP and come out with some cool prizes for GEMP. I know
we're always trying new ideas, right? So
Yeah.
that's all we can ask for.
I know.
I mean, when's the last time you won a box of Star Wars cards for playing Star Wars cards? It's certainly been a long time.
Well, the last time I won a box was from B. Fred for paying him $500. So.
Yeah. See, don't even need to pay that much. 1/10 of that. Get you a league
Nice.
kit. But we also talk about in this post, again, you talk about majors, as we said. It looks like the NPC is going to be in April. It is going to be online. So is it going to be similar like it was last year, where we have a weekend, and then for if
final
get to the top end,
and
top 4 or so, and then you have another weekend after that or something?
Probably. I will say that we haven't started discussing the format for anything yet. We've been trying to get the dates and the kind of skeleton framework out first. Last year we were actually, I'm surprised it came together as well as it did last year, because that was kind of spur of the moment. I remember even when the NPC was canceled in person, even then I was like, well, why can't we just run a tournament there anyway? This guy was like, well, the hotel said no.
Yeah.
And that's
so we definitely did things on the fly last year, and so we have one, we have the experience of doing that, and 2, we have more people to draw from on the tournament committee this year when we added a couple members. So we should be able to bounce some good ideas off each other and figure out what's going to work best.
Okay, and then as you said earlier, it looks like Nationals is going to be attempted to be in Colorado. I know Jerry Hine, co-host and everything, he was working on it a lot last year. Almost had everything in place, and then COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I can't.
And is a thing.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Colorado. Have some fun out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, Colorado's a state I haven't been to. Denver's an area I haven't been to. So I'm really hoping that we're able to do that live. We're going to make that determination. I think, like it says in the post, I think it says 1 June, just to make sure that that gives people time. If we announce, hey, we are doing it live, you can still get a hotel, you can still get flights out there for relatively cheap.
Yeah. And then we also talk about the European Championships. So we don't have a date or anything, but once we do, we'll let everybody know. And as we said earlier, Worlds out in October. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think that that time of year is a good area for the weather-wise in DC, so it should be nice. It'll be nice to be able to. I think everyone's going to want to go outside a little bit, maybe, or maybe they just want to hang out inside. I think. Who knows where we'll be at that mindset, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like I know a few of us who golf have talked about actually coming down Friday and golfing beforehand, but we'll see what happens.
I know also Jared is working. We should be announcing the prizes that we're doing for the year as well, foils wise and all that. So we're finalizing that. And then I know that we're trying to coordinate everything with Bill and the tournament team. So it should be nice to see what comes out of that in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Just got to wait on marketing. Like I know marketing's plotting away with it. Marketing's doing a lot of good stuff. So once we have those in place, we'll let everybody know. We do talk about alternative formats like Jawa leagues and everything, opening up more of like a Premier to Death Star 2 league. I like those. But yeah, I mean, if you
that Premier Death Star 2 tournament is something that wasn't even something that came from the tournament committee. That was something that Jared put together and is going to have Robbie run. So definitely looking for people to step up and do that type of thing. I know from experience that the PC will provide support, will provide tournament directors, will provide, framework, whatever you need.
Yeah, and I like how the Jawa Brawl will be coming back in June and July. So if you're tired of Open, well, we have the Jawa. And
now, Bill, will that be an every 2-year thing? Is that the goal, you think, with the Outrider Cup and the Jawa Brawl for now?
I think that seems like a good plan. I mean, the Jawa Cup was just a riff on Chris's Outrider Cup, right? So he's talking about the top 6 players playing, and I was like, well, what about the rest of us? Because, this is how the MPC started, too. It's you always get the top 8 players playing match play. What about the rest of us? So that was just a fun little idea that I thought was going to be a one-off thing. And then here we are a year and a half later planning 3 events in Jawa format.
And I know the limited resources event has been they're playing some games, they're tweaking some things, so it'll be nice to see if that gains more traction as well.
Yeah, there's a spot that Dan hasn't gotten to yet in the tournament where we intentionally left blank, where we're looking for general ideas of what we can do there. I think that's the August-September timeframe. Trying to look at maybe doing a limited resources event, maybe doing a cube event, maybe doing something crazy, which is what I'm always pushing for, and doing multi-format events where, 1 week is one format, the next week is the next format.
Yeah. You know what? I will say, like, I know Magic does that. I would love to see, like, maybe a legacy format, an old Decipher format, see who is the best at each. And then at the end, we just do, like, some sort of figuring out, like, who is the best overall.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember correctly, I think it was Desai had let me know that the verses had, I think it was 3 days, and it was 1 day of sealed, 1 day of constructed, and then 1 day of something else. So I would love for our organization to be able to do an event where it's maybe cube 1 day, because the sealed product is a little too tough to do, and then maybe a Jawa and then open in the final day or something. That would be interesting to see that.
Well, I mean, Scott,
we've done that, right?
No, we've never done that. I was going to say, all we got to do is talk to Brian Fred. He opens up packs like it's his business on Facebook all the time. He's posting like 3 or 4 a night.
I was reminded of it today, Dan, because in SoCal in 2015, I think it was January 2015, everybody flew out. On Friday night, we had a cube event, which counted towards the standings for the weekend, and then Saturday was open, essentially.
Okay.
And then we cut to a top 4 I did not make top 4. I got a tattoo instead.
So this was about the time when you were like still my level before you advanced.
Oh, or
past
worse,
me?
yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think
that's good to
I
see
looked at
that.
the standings because they brought it up and I had dropped.
But maybe every 2 years we do something like that. That would be
Yeah.
interesting as well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Nice.
I love it. And so here's a question. We actually were talking about this earlier on Slack. One question that came up was, will the tournament committee provide an updated version of the tournament guide? Because it's been almost 2 years now since it was last updated.
Oh, what a tease. That is one of the things that we are discussing behind the scenes. Because it's been so long since there's been a tournament guide update, one of the things we need to look to add is online play, especially. And I know there's been discussion in the past between predominantly it's Robbie and Justin Miyashiro, who are talking about, I think you had both of them on, right, to discuss this, but talking about doing something like Magic does, where it gives you a framework of, different situations that may arise in a tournament and how to handle it so that there's less onus on the judge to make a snap decision on what the punishment is. So something we're looking to do. I can't give you a definitive date right now, or I can't tell you that we're definitely going to do it, but it is on our long list of things.
I remember over the years, things have come up that were like, it never happened before, whether it was the issue where someone was using some cards out of an uncut sheet, or when you have the true tie situation at Worlds where they talked about Sabak. These are situations that it would be great to have this. So if you can do that, Bill, I love you guys for that. That would be fantastic.
Oh, I agree.
Under promise, over deliver. So,
yeah, I think you guys are capable of it. I'm just saying.
If it comes out, even if you have the top 10 or 20 situations that could happen, that would be an amazing thing, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, really quick, we are into the full swing of the OCS. The OCS has started already. We had a few players play their games. Currently, Kyle Kruger, just shy, is currently 6-0. So, good job. So, good showing so far for Kyle. Gavin Osterland is 4-3. Casey is 4-2. So, a lot of people have been playing their games so far. Let's just checking some of the people that are on the show right now. I am currently 0-1. Bill also 0-1. And
yeah, but look at my opponent's winning percentage. I got that.
Yeah, I'm 2-2.
Yeah, and Scott currently sitting in 6th at 2-2.
Yeah, my opponent win percentage at 60% is insane.
It's pretty good.
So yeah. I keep playing really good players, which is fine.
And I will point this out, Scott. You are currently ahead of our most recent world's champion, and Joe Olson.
Nice.
So
nice. Hey, that's all you can ask for.
Just saying. I mean,
on pace to be the world champion.
Oh,
on pace.
And I will say this: so not only is the OCS going on, but we're still in round two of the Game PC. We have had a few people advanced so far. Connor Britton advanced past Justin Miyashiro, who we were just talking about. Kyle Kruger, again, who is 6-0, advanced over Brad Kipple. Paul Myers advanced as well. But what's interesting is we have had our first 1 seed go down in Jared Napolitano. And
he was a 1 seed?
He was a 1 seed. And he went down to some guy named, who is this person named Advocate?
Like, yeah, that's me. Listen,
really?
that was stressful. And
what did you play?
Well, so here's the biggest thing, right? My dark deck, I had kind of made some mistakes,
okay.
But it was within 11. So I knew with the light side deck, I actually put him on ISB or walkers, and he even was like, "What are you doing?" But one thing I will tell you, I try to learn something new every game, and he started the cave. And what I found out, and I don't know if this is true or not, but Dagobah, Yoda deployed directly to the cave from my reserve deck. So it doesn't need icons apparently to deploy to Dagobah. I didn't know that.
Was a bug.
Yeah, I thought
Wasn't
it was
that
a bug
reported as a
too.
bug?
I don't know, but during the game I tried to deploy Yoda and it let me put him to the cave, and I was like, sure, let's go. So that
Wow.
so that I played Jedi testing, and so the problem is his deck is more passive, so it gave me more flexibility because you shut down their drains. And I was able to retarget. I have a bad feeling about this, to retarget his Watch Your Back combo from a Destiny 7 to a Destiny 4. So it's like little tricks like that that were very key. It was not easy in any way, shape, or form. We both played our butts off, but it was fun to go forward, and we'll see if I can do well in the next round.
Scott, so how does it feel to take down a 1 seed?
I don't think I've ever done that before. Geez, I didn't know he was one. I may have been more nervous.
Well, I will say Jared is in the chat. He is currently watching. He says that he expected for you to put him on Agents of the Black Sun. Did you put him on? Did you even consider that, being that he did go?
No, didn't even think about it. Never even thought of Agents. I was just, I literally had Coruscant, the system, in my deck for ISB and Blount. And the idea was they'd go to like Kashyyyk or Mustafar, and then late game I drop down Blount at the system and flip them, and then it's like, oh, you can't drain, you can't do anything. But I did not put him on that at all. I had an under attack in the deck for walkers. I had, I basically pulled all weapon stuff. I pulled all weapon protection and just put in anything I could find to go towards walkers or ISB.
So
Scott, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you know what Jared played at Worlds?
I have no idea.
Jared was the only person to play Black Sun and just go undefeated with it all 3 days.
Didn't even look. I couldn't even figure out, and that's the problem. I guess I play Echo Base Trooper next round.
Yes.
I have no idea what he plays. No clue.
I know he plays WAP. He plays a lot of
WAP. I know that. That's fine. I can handle WAP, I guess, with decks, but I don't know. I'm just gonna play what I play, and
that's fair.
And we'll see what it is. I mean, round 1 I played Hitgo and a Maul space deck, right? That I think Bill and Greg actually worked on. Years ago, I played a deck that would play Stinger and Kessel and Guri, and I saw Greg kind of tweaked it, had a version with Maul and those ships, and I was like, I need this. So that's why I played at Worlds, and that's what I played round 1. That's what everyone else is playing right now, which is Maul on the ground with the spaceships. And then light side, I played Hitgo game 1, and everyone's like, Hitgo. And it worked. Yeah. So nothing fancy, just Hitgo. And I couldn't do that round 2 because I was worried if he played walkers, it loses to Hitgo, or it beats Hitgo pretty badly. Yeah.
That's a good point.
So I figured, whatever.
Bill, you won your first game against Adam Trunzo, I believe, by 11. You have scheduled game 2, correct?
Yeah, we're gonna play Friday evening.
I think at 6:30?
6:30 sounds right.
Okay. So would you play game 1? Would you play game
Central
1?
Time. We played game 1, so I played ISB against his Hitco. I had a really good opening hand of double strategic reserves.
Wow.
So he was able to alter it once, but I was able to put the alter out of play and then deploy the second one. I also
that's right. I saw that. Yes.
In there. And that just kind of scared him from draining for 2 for the rest of the game, even though I put it back with my force push.
Nice.
Smart. Yeah, ISB is really strong, so we'll see what happens with light side. Do you feel confident?
Not at all, actually. And it's really weird because I know like light side is the better side or whatever, but there's always just more dark side decks that I feel comfortable with than light side decks. Me and Adam now, I think, are 1-1 lifetime. The first time he crushed me at the John Anderson Memorial Tournament, the Continentals, he just crushed me with no idea. So We got a little revenge yesterday or Monday or whatever day it was, and hope to pull ahead on Friday.
I was going to say I streamed that, so hopefully I'll be able to stream your next one. And just going over our other host on tonight, I will be facing Chris Goglin. I think we're going to be playing game 1 tomorrow. I have no clue what to put Chris on. I have no clue what he played game 1 or 2. So I know, Bill, you have a nice little smirk there. You want to give me some insight?
I have no idea what to put Chris on either. Yeah.
Tie Bombers.
Our team chat, despite there being 20 of us now in that chat, has been really, really empty of late. So,
is Chris even on your team?
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
But I mean, he went off the rails at Worlds. He ended up playing EBO and TTO.
Yeah.
I think we all talked about a lot of other stuff, and there he is with EBO.
See, the only prep I did was I talked to Matt about an hour before my game started, and I was like, I think I'm going to play Mind What You've Learned. How do you like this? So it's nice to have a team around you. I got to work on that.
I believe it. Same. I will say this. Lately, I've only been talking to like Connor Britton, so I would love to have a full team like you guys, but you know what? I'll take Connor any day of the week. But
Connor's pretty good, absolutely.
But moving
I wish you
on,
both good luck.
And I wish you good luck
against
Adam.
Thank you.
I would love to see you progress all the way, Scott. Show everybody what Mind What You Can Learn, Mind What You Can Learned can do.
Yeah, I don't play it very often. When I do, though, it seems to do well. So who knows?
Okay.
But I have other ideas, so we'll see what happens.
That's fair. And then one last quick update. Currently, with the Jawas in Love format is still going on. Get on there and play. As you can see, Mr. Brad Kipple has played 16 games. That is insane. The tournament is 3 days old, and he's played 16 games. So I like seeing that. But yeah, it's interesting. Like, I like seeing a lot of games being played. If you haven't played in it, it's fun. It is a little different. I mean, Lightside doesn't have Walkling. It doesn't have Rescue in the Clouds. Lightside doesn't have Force Push. So the Jawa Cup is an interesting and cool little format. Have you guys, and I don't see either of you two on there.
I'm number 10 right now.
You're number 10.
So Scott I am not signed up for this.
You didn't sign up, Bill?
I am an impartial observer / judge. As one of the creators of the format.
That's fair. But yeah.
I beat Jared in that format too.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah, he just reminded me. I forget what happened in that game.
Do you just have Jared's number right now?
Not really, but maybe. Yeah, I do actually. Yes, let's go with that.
Did you finish ahead of him in the league?
What's that? No, I stink in the league. I lose always in the league games.
Same.
It's only when it matters do I apparently do somewhat well.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what the league is for. Is I'm going to play whatever. Like I think I played Rescue the Princess a couple of times in that league. Did not work out very well.
I played a fun game with Desai where he had Prophet, and I think I won by I don't know. He gave up in turn 2. Because it was just ridiculous. But that's the fun things, right? I mean, sometimes you do really, really well. Sometimes you lose, but that's okay.
Moving on, we're going to go into Swing and a Miss.
Yep.
We'll go into our Swing and a Miss section of the night. We'll start off with question 1, as always. First question is, Hitco and Hunt Down V will be the most played decks in the February OCS.
I'm going to agree with that.
Do I talk first?
Oh, sorry.
We'll switch. So Scott will go first, and then Bill, you go first in the next one.
Yeah, I agree. I've seen a few Hitcos already in the OCS, and I think it's going to continue. Absolutely.
I want to be a contrarian. So I'm gonna go with what? Wait, swing? What? You mean it's a hit?
It's a hit or swing and a miss is so.
Oh,
It's a
it's
hit
a
is
hit.
good.
Yeah, it's a hit from it. Yeah, it's a
There
hit.
you go.
Scott says swing and a hit.
Swing and a hit.
I'm gonna contrarian. I'm gonna go with swing and a miss. I couldn't tell you what the most played deck is going to be, but I feel like people are starting to see that Hitco does have a couple weaknesses. I think that Chris Kelly has said that design and development has been working on a couple tweaks, so it's entirely possible we see those at some point during the January event. Nope, it's February event. And I think that because people are finding ways to play differently against Hitco, that maybe a different dark deck could take over Huntdown as well.
So
Nice.
you actually, I was gonna say you made a good point that there are possible tweaks on the horizon. Personally, I hope they come out soon because I don't like Hitco at all. I kind of like Huntdown. It's not a bad deck. I just don't like the Destiny +2 to the Inquisitors, but yeah, I don't like Hitco at all. I probably will never play Hitco in its current iteration. So, yeah, I'm
I
gonna
played
say
it once this month, and I lost with it. So
yeah.
it's definitely
I'm gonna go and say swing and a miss as well. Okay, on to question number 2 now. So the most points awarded in the Jawas in Love event will not go to the player with the most wins. So
you get 1 point for losses.
Yeah, you get 1 point for a loss and 3 points for a win.
So the most points awarded in the Jawas in Love event will not go to the player with the most wins. So we're going to say that someone is going to lose enough to overtake their wins.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to go with swing and a miss.
So, like for instance, I know Brad is currently 13-3. So as long as somebody plays like 50 games and he plays 16, they'll have more points.
I think Brad is too far ahead already and is going to continue on a similar pace. So I feel like Brad's the pace setter here, right? And Brad's going to win more games than he loses because he is a very good player. So I will go with swing and a miss.
So I'm going to quote one of my favorite people, and he says, "Being an innings eater ain't going to get it done." And I think honestly, there's no way that's going to happen unless someone plays 100 games and loses every one of them. Well, not a chance.
You don't have to lose; you just have to win like a game here or there. But you still have to play like 100 games. I'm going to say it's a hit. I think somebody out there will play a lot of games, even if they don't win a lot. They're gonna play a lot of games. So I'm going to take the Bill roll here.
Okay.
Okay.
No, not a chance.
On to question number 3. Court will be the most played deck for both sides during the Jawa in Love event.
Somebody playing White Side Court?
Well, no, I'm not saying light side court. I'm saying like between both sides. So say like we'll see like maybe 5 laps, but I'm saying like we're gonna see like a dozen courts.
Wait, what was it again?
It's in the chat, right? So
can you tell me what the question was? I missed that.
We can't hear people.
Will Court be the most played deck?
The most played deck for either side?
Yes.
Yep.
I definitely think Hitco.
Oh no, Jawa's in Love. It's a Jawa.
Court? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm playing every game in Court intentionally.
Oh, boy. That's true.
I'm just playing musicians the whole time because it's fun.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That deck looks really fun, I will say. I will disagree with you though, again, because I feel like Brad is your pace setter, right? Brad's got 16 games in 3 days, 5 games a day. That's let's say half of those are dark side, right? So 3 games a day over 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I can't do math. 42 games with maybe Bring 'em Before Me, which I know he likes to play. I'm gonna go miss. I think that there's still some cards that keep Court down a little bit in this format, even though Hitco is not available. Something like Throne Room is still available. So,
Yeah.
and that playing field's leveled a little bit more just because you can't play Waffling anyway.
I'm gonna say hit. I like court. I really do. If I'm and so far I played one deck, or I played one of each side, and I had the pleasure of playing against Joker King's court the other night. Like, it was actually last night, and he kicked the crap out of me. Let's just put it that way. I'm gonna say it's a
And
hit.
are you going to go out there and play 100 games with just court so that you can, one, say court is the most played deck, and two, get the most points?
You know what? I'm unemployed. I have no life. I might actually do that, Bill.
There you go.
I think it's a great idea, but yeah, I think it's so obvious. I just think it's I mean, listen, everybody's playing the interrupt to help with the audience chamber and everything, but I still think it's
True.
just really a good deck, especially without Hitgo. Throne Room's a lot slower. They just can't go to the audience chamber as quick. I think it's silly not to play court for Darkside right now.
There you go. Okay, and on to our last question of the evening. Scott is Bill's favorite playtesting partner.
How are we defining favorite?
Favorite.
I saw Jared in the chat talking about how Jared and Joe were talking about how whenever you play against Scott, it's very likely that you will see something happen that you have never seen happen before.
True.
So I can confidently say that playing against Scott will prepare you for many things.
Yeah, it's not very good though for playing against me. I honestly don't think I help the average player get better. Just because they're like, oh yeah, you played, I have a bad feeling about this to retarget this card. Who does that? It's not something you need to metaphor, right? In my Jawa deck right now, I'm playing Shot in the Dark.
Wait, did He Is Not Ready make it into the deck?
No, it didn't. But Shot in the Dark is right now. And the idea is there are times in the game when I need an extra card and I don't like the card in my hand. I want to be able to lose it because I'm going to retrieve it with with Scum and Villainy anyway. So why not? Help cycle through your deck once a turn, get an extra card in your hand that maybe is more useful.
I want to see this deck. I want to
makes
see
perfect
this
sense.
deck.
I mean, there's a use for it, but I don't know.
I will say this. I freaking love playing against Scott. Just playing against him is always fun. So I'm gonna say it's a hit.
It's definitely a miss. No way in hell. There's just no way that Bill will never learn. In all the games we've played over the years, there's nothing he can learn. He can see something new, but it's not going to help him in the mainstream, right?
It's fair.
Just not.
That's fair.
Bill will abstain courteously.
Bill's saving grace and abstaining. That's classy. But that's all we got for Swing and a Miss tonight. We do have to talk about a deck building challenge, though, as Scott momentarily steps out of the way. So, again, onto our deck building challenge. We did have a winner from last month's, and lo and behold, as I scroll down here really quick, it was Mr. Yodad. Chris Westergaard won last month's deck building challenge, so congrats to him. He won it in his PC game against Drew, so congrats to him. If you want to recap it, he actually has the deck right here, and here are the links, so if you want to check it out, go ahead. But as for sorry about that, everybody.
I don't know what just happened.
My Discord and camera don't like each other for some reason. I've been trying to fix it. I got to figure out what's going on. But yeah, so congrats to Chris Westergaard for winning last month's deck building challenge. We do have a new one for February. Bill, I believe you came up with this one. So thank you for providing the deck building challenge. Our deck building challenge for this month is to win, as always, in a league game, and have the most cards left in your deck with a Highlander deck. So, Bill, really quickly, what's a Highlander deck?
So it's a concept that I don't remember where it comes from originally. Probably Magic, because everything comes from Magic. But you can only play with one copy of each title card in your deck. So correct me if I'm wrong, Dan, but something like you can play with Ray and you can play with Ray with lightsaber.
Yes.
That's good, right?
Yes. So
It's definitely a format I've seen people play in the GIMP lobby a decent amount, just kind of for fun. I don't think there's an actual format on GIMP for it right now, but certainly an interesting way to look at deck building.
yeah, and I like the creativity. I like how we have something new. This is opening any deck style to everybody. So think of like decks that would be good with this. Maybe like an IE. I mean, you're only playing one Imperial Command though, so
Yeah, anytime I think about Highlander, I'm thinking about Entanglements. What's the other one that's not bad? No Idea. It's going to be pretty playable. Diplo is going to be pretty playable. So there's still some good decks available. It's just you might trade consistency for a couple cards you might not play otherwise.
yeah.
Jedi testing.
I mean, you could, right? Just got to find a way to activate.
Yeah, right. That's true. Now, again, what we do ask is, being that it is a league game, you can play any league. This includes the Jawa and Love, the NPC. If you really want to get crazy, the OCS, any of those events would be great. Again, you can only have one card of a deck, so we are stressing on deck lists for this event, so that way we double check and everything. So, but yeah, just I will stress this though: if you win after turn 2, like say your opponent just concedes, I'm not gonna say like I won't disqualify you, but I don't know. What do you think, Bill? Because this one was your idea.
Yeah. Dan's going to take a look at all of your replays just to make sure that no shenanigans are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I've said it before. I said
Unfortunately,
it again.
Well, I was just going to say we've had some issues in the past with alts and things like that, and just have fun with it. Be true, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. But on to our last part of the show, which is always my favorite part of the show. We're going to do a lore challenge. Bill, I believe you've successfully navigated a lore challenge before. Is this correct?
I do not think that is correct. I did the spelling challenge, which I passed.
That's right. Yes. So let's go.
The lore challenge, I'm much more afraid of.
No, the episode 1 cards do not count, Joe.
Why not?
What do you mean?
He's going to play with less cards. He's going to win with less cards, right?
Yeah, they don't count. They don't count.
Everyone's trying to find a way around this.
I know.
Hey, man, it's your show.
But moving on to our lore challenge. Again, I'm going to put up the lore, read it to you. You take a stab and see what the card is. I promise you, Bill, it's not just leader. It's not just leader or something. So, okay, your lore challenge is
leader.
Versatility is key to the rebellion. The rebels' ability to adapt to any situation is well known. I will give you a hint because this is one. It's a light side interrupt.
It's an interrupt. Read it again.
Versatility is key to the rebellion. The rebels' ability to adapt to any situation is well known.
It's well known.
Before we give it to him, could I give him a hint if he's drawing a blank?
Oh boy, I'm drawing a blank. All right, so I will take one stab and then I will accept my hint.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
My stab in the dark will be diversionary tactics.
That was good. I was thinking that too. It is not it, right, Dan?
It is not it.
Can I give him a hint?
Sure. Because you don't know. I don't think.
Roll.
What?
Talon roll.
You're gonna make me think what cancels Talon roll?
Scott, that's a bad hint.
No, it's not something that cancels Talon roll.
Oh boy. Is it a few maneuvers?
No.
No. Scott, would you like to take a stab at this one?
I know it. That's why I gave him the hint of Talon Roll.
Corellian Slip cancels Talon Roll. Is it Corellian Slip?
No, it's not a card that cancels Talon Roll.
No, it's not a card that cancels Talon Roll. You know
Oh,
what?
is it immune to Talon? Oh boy.
You know what?
Okay. Give it to the chat.
Give
It
to-
acts like Talon Roll.
We're going to give it to the chat. First person. You have.
Oh.
Actually, you know what? No, because the chat has holodeck and everything, so
Yeah, it's cheating.
that is a little cheating.
So, Bill, it's a light side Talon Roll version.
The light side. There's a light side Talon Roll
Yes.
that isn't the Admiral's Order,
Yes. Kind of.
and it's a Rebels card.
Yeah.
It's from
the only thing that
Endor.
makes from Endor. Ugh.
And
don't know
you know
anything
what?
about
I'm just gonna say it because he is stressing. I can see the smoke coming
Yeah.
from the ears. Scott, Bill, your card
Over
was get alongside that one.
Get alongside that one. Okay. That's
It's a Talon
Talon
Roll
Roll,
for
right?
vehicles.
That's Talon Roll for vehicles.
Yeah.
They gotta have maneuver.
Get alongside
It's useless.
that one.
Are there any dark
Okay.
side vehicles with maneuver other than patrol crafts,
Speeder bikes.
skiffs?
Listen, High Speed
yeah.
Tactics is the dark side version of that, right? And that's a fantastic card against old allies, and it's a card that I
Yeah.
played 2 of, I think, in Worlds one year.
Scott,
Yes.
did you know that?
I had no. I thought diversionary tactics as well, and then I looked it up because I was I couldn't believe it.
So yeah, I'm pulling out all the weird janky cards for lore challenges now. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
diversionary tactics is a good one. That's good against Zuckuss and Mist Hunter.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what that card does, but I know it's a card.
It makes them power and forfeit 0 and makes you power 0.
Huh.
Okay.
But you got to target a starfighter with no characters aboard.
Gross.
Interesting. Well, maybe we'll see Scott build a deck around diversionary tactics now.
Maybe.
Scott, is that a Mortal
I'm gonna play
Kombat?
it.
Is that a Mortal
See.
Kombat 2 machine?
Yeah, it's a Raspberry Pi. I modified it to be, yeah. So it's got all the Atari, computer, Nintendo, stuff like that. GameCube games
Wow.
on it.
Scott just got more
It's fun.
points. Scott got more points in my book now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was bored at the beginning of the pandemic. I think I did it last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody. Well, that is our show for tonight. Again, I want to thank Bill for coming on as our guest. Scott, as always, it is a pleasure. Thank you for co-hosting. Again, I will be available, so look for Bill and Adam's game on this Friday. We will be streaming it. I'll be using the new GUI for that as well. The new interface is live. Everybody go out and play with it. It's amazing, and I want again thanking Eric for everything he did with it, and I forget who else helped him with that off the top of my head.
No, I appreciate it, and I want to give a shout out to the chat. I love that when they're like, if you had told me the title of this card and asked me if it was a card, I would have said no.
You know what? I love it when the chat is involved. Bill, you're always involved in the chat. You got to get more into the chat. And I like having you on, Bill, but I love it more when you're in the chat because you engage us. So, again, we'll be back next week. I don't know when Queso is coming back. He does work late on Wednesday, so we'll see. But we'll be back next week with more Holotheatre. Again, we'll be streaming more games for the GEMP PC. And until then, we'll see everybody later. Take care.
Go
Thanks,
Jets.
guys. Go Jets. Yeah, my battery started